Hi, PJ45 here. PJ45 here. Where you at? Where you at? Sorry. I said I was going to do movie reviews or shows or commercials or whatever I can do. Well, right now I'm watching a movie for the review, but I want to talk about a show I watched on Netflix. I watched the whole series, and I can't find it on Netflix anymore, so it's not on there anymore. And this was a while ago. I think it was 2015, because it was before I got a YouTube channel. I thought it had something to do with Harry Potter, but I was wrong. It was called The Seeker. That's why I thought it was Harry Potter, because like Harry Potter's a seeker in the fucking movies and the books, and all other stuff about him. But I watched it. First, I was upset it wasn't Harry Potter. But then I was glad it wasn't Harry Potter because it was awesome. It was great. Great series I ever watched. I've watched the whole series. There's like hints of destiny and repeating history. There was like a thing where the seeker can't fall in love with confessor, which is the confessors are all women because the male confessors are dangerous. They will lash out and kill people, and they were very aggressive. Like they're humans, but they're like not human. Like they look like humans, but they have like abilities to make people their slaves. But if they fall in love with someone and they try to mate with that person, they can't control their powers while mating, and they'll cause the people to be confessed, which means being controlled by a confessor. And a thing that repeats in history as each seeker always falls in love with their confessor no matter what. But each seeker never completed the destiny that they were assigned. And the one before this seeker, the seeker you're following in the series, the seeker before him actually was close to completing his destiny, but then he got confessed by the confessor while they were trying to make love. And that caused the destiny to be erased. And each seeker is destined to be from a certain family and from a certain town and a certain village, I guess. More like a village or a town or a city, depending on where this new seeker is. But the only thing that's the same is the circumstance, the way they're born, and if their father was like I don't know what to call it. I forgot what it was called because they hardly talk about it. But if there's like a thing where your father he's not human, but he's not another creature either. Not angel, because he has like a body. But if your father's like this, that means you're going to be the next seeker, and stuff. I guess it's hard to explain this stuff because I barely remember some of this stuff because some of this stuff was never very important. Well, it is very important, but like they never bring it up except for one or maybe a few episodes. It's very odd. This evil guy destroys and kills everyone, and they hide away. And this wizard, the wizard comes with the child, gives it to a family that was expecting a baby, but they're dead. the baby dies, but he gives them the baby and told them to tell that this dead baby is that baby, and the wizard hides the dead baby from in a pocket dimension. And the wizard and the basically this wizard. This is in the first episode, by the way. This wizard watches on the boy, but they say he's a weirdo because he apparently he has to act like a crazy nut job to keep hidden, so that way the guy doesn't find this child, which he cannot get to this child because they cross like a magical border that brings us to the world we're in. But on the from the before they win the magical border, in the magical border, that's where all magic and fairy tale and medieval stuff happens. And apparently the border goes all the way across the planet and stuff. But anyways, the guy has to act crazy, so he basically gets nude and holds chickens for some reason. It's a very dark and adult series, and you have to be, I guess, driven, a little insane, bipolar, and very, very, very interested in dark stuff to watch. You might need to be other things too. I don't know. I fucking don't remember the whole series that well. Like, I remember the beginning. I remember this a few episodes. Then there's like these lesbians in jumpsuits carrying around vibrating sticks. Except they're vibrating because they're electric or something. And if someone touches the stick or they hit you with the stick, you get electrocuted. And they're all lesbians, and they're not allowed to be involved with a man. Like, they can have sex with a man if they're doing it for something. But if they're like having sex with a man because they're in love with the man, that's not right. Because like this group of lesbians are not really lesbians, they're bisexuals, I guess. They're just, but they work for the evil dude. Because the evil dude has a hold on all of them for some reason. But the thing is, when they originally formed this group before the evil guy got the hold of them, they were like banning men because they all been wronged by a man. And the leader of this group that was named leader did not want to be a leader, didn't want men to be not allowed in this group, but they were. They were involved in the group because the man who was involved in the group was the evil bad guy, but he had a plan to use the leader to control all of them. So, the leader trusted him, and that he tricked her by finding out stuff that they can hold over all the people in this group's heads. He did, and then he shot the girl and told them he knows all their secrets, and yelled out each and every one of their secrets, and says he'll tell the whole world if you don't serve me, and they served him. There was a fucking episode where it was like a full moon, and it was like a reddish moon, like the moon was glowing bright red, and it shined over the Seeker, and the Seeker was stuck in a world where the magic stuff never happened, and the fire happened in the first episode that killed his foster family. Happened, but they all survived, and he was in a coma. But he realized that something was wrong, and because like he looked everywhere, everything was but when he found some shit that didn't make sense with his foster father. Like, the way his foster father acted did not act like the way he was supposed to. So he broke free. Then in the last episode, he dies. Like, in the last episode, the Seeker dies. But he didn't refill his destiny. But turns out he did not die. His soul left his body for a little while and came back. Like, well, he was dying, actually. His soul left his body to leave the plane, the actual astral plane, I guess. Leave to the astral plane, or from the... I don't fucking know how it works. Because I'm not really... I don't know when we die, what happens when we die, but he was about to leave his body completely. Like, he's outside of his body then, but he's watching watching the Seeker cry over him. And right as he was being called, like, you don't hear the calling, but he hears it, and you can see he's like, hold on, I want to see and hear what she has to say, because they were falling in love with each other, but they kept it hidden for a long time. However, she admits her love to him. She even though she's a confessor, she would try to way to make it work, because she can't make love without confessing him. She cries, and then the stone they were trying to get they believed got destroyed, comes back from the confessor's tears, and then it brings him back, because the stone is powerful. Like, I don't know exactly what the stone does. I know it can bring people back, but there was other stuff that happened to it I don't remember, because I haven't seen this series in a long time. It was really good, though. Okay, in the middle, I'm jumping back and forth between episodes, because, like, one thing I tell you is reminding me of another thing about it. There was a thing where, a witch, who worked for the bad guy, helped a kid become, the Seeker by making him look like the Seeker to everyone. And the Seeker looks like the boy to everyone. Then he goes on adventures, and with his looks, and then the actual Seeker looks like him, but he's run away, and he's not allowed to leave because of his parents, I guess. But he finds a way to slip. Then he finds out the witch did this and stuff. Once the wizard and the confessor figure it out, they ask the kid, how did this happen? They both, the real Seeker and the boy who looks like him now, they both say a witch did this. And but if you look in a mirror while we're standing in it, you can see us normal. And that's what happens. They finally kill the witch, I guess. I don't remember that much. It's a long time ago when I seen this. It was like 2015 or maybe earlier. It's before I had a YouTube channel. So there was this one time where he got the Seeker and one of the lesbian bitches got sent to the future. I don't remember how long in the future, but like long enough for a child to be born and grown to be adult. Because this never happened because they were able to go back to the time they were from, but if they never went back, this is what happens. The evil guy forces the confessor to mate with him, and he knew a way that the confessor couldn't mate with him because the confessor is stronger than a regular human, but he knows how to use magic and he made himself stronger, so he can't get confessed while making love to her. And she was being forced to make love with him because they were torturing the wizard. She gives birth to a boy, and they can't keep a boy because a boy is like a boy confessor is very hostile and murderous and uses his confessing powers all the time, even when people are on his side. It's awful. He ends up killing his mother, but before that he kills his father, then his mother grows up and slowly destroys the whole world. Then the seeker and the lesbian come to the future. But this future never happened because they ended up going back to before they left. And that lesbian was kicked out of the group and became of a short, random ally. Because she thinks as men as her friends now. Not as lovers, because they don't. But basically, the show was very good, and I'm sorry if I can't remember most of it. But it was dark. It was like full of sex innuendos and shit. And by the way, I forgot to mention the way the confessors work is they touch your neck. Their eyes turn black, like completely black, no white. No, like, my eyes are hazel, right? They're hazel and they have the white. That when when a confessor touches your neck, all that turns black, completely black, the whole thing, on both sides. That's what happens to a confessor. Then it happens to the person they're confessing, and then the person who they confessed is obedient to them, and won't do anything unless the confessor commands it. Won't eat, won't sleep, won't do anything unless it's commanded. Kind of like the woman woman from X-Men Orange and Wolverine, the one that Wolverine falls in love with. It turns out she can control people just by touch. Kind of like that, except she can control people for their whole lives. There was like one point in the series. There's one point in the series where one of her friends who was a confessor confessed a bad guy, and she fell in love with him even though he's not in love with her. He's feeling love for her because she is controlling him because he's confessed. And once you're confessed, there's no way to undo it. They ended up having a son, but they wanted to try to raise him to be like a woman confessor. So they put him on they went to a abandoned island. Then you never see that boy again because that boy ends up getting murdered with his mom and dad from the bad guy. You don't see it happen, but it's been told to happen by one of the friends that were there to guard the whole family. The confessor and the confessed and the boy. But he failed and he was injured really badly. He had a scar on his face, like down his whole face. One of his arms was missing, and he was walking with a stick because one of his foot was like turned the opposite way around. And he tells them what happened. But it's a really good show. It's called Seeker. And some things I might say about it might be wrong. I don't know, because I don't really remember the whole series. I remember bits and pieces. But one problem is I might be wrong about a lot of this stuff because my memory, I have like a memory issue where it combines my memories with other stuff. So I might be wrong, I might be right. I don't really know. But I think I might be right, actually. I think I might be. I know it's called Seeker. I know it is, because I was talking to my grandma about it yesterday. Like, what was that show I watched? When your bedroom was in my upstairs with the on Netflix. It was like it was like a Harry Potter name, but it wasn't a Harry Potter. And she said Seeker, so okay. So I'm right about the name. Check it out. Go and find it. It's a series. I know it's a series because I watched it for 2 days. Because it was like and I bench watched it because I was like, it was a weekend, and it was a holiday weekend, and it was like another weekend for something else. I forgot what was the other thing. But yeah. Anyways, see you 4 or 5 years later, and tell me in the comments below if you know this series or if you are interested in finding it and watching it for yourself. See you 4 or 5 years later, and subscribe.